past. All such speculation ended in 11 AC, when Queen Vicinia suddenly announced that she was carrying the king's child. A son, she proclaimed confidently, and so he proved to be. The prince came squalling into the world in 12 AC. No newborn was ever more robust than Maegor Targaryen. Maesters and midwives agreed. His weight at birth was almost twice that of his elder brother. The half-brothers were never close. Prince Aenys was the heir apparent, and King Aegon kept him close by his side. As the king moved about the realm from castle to castle, so did the prince. Prince Maegor remained with his mother, sitting by her side when she held court. Queen Vicinia and King Aegon were oft apart in those years. When he was not on his royal progress, Aegon would return to King's Landing in the Aegon Fort, whilst Vicinia and her son remained on Dragonstone. For this reason, lords and commons alike began to refer to Maegor as the Prince of Dragonstone. Queen Vicinia put a sword into her son's hand when he was 3. Supposedly, the first thing he did with the blade was butcher one of the castle cats, men said. Though more like this tale was a calumny devised by his enemies many years later. That the prince took to swordplay at once cannot be denied, however. For his master-at-arms, his mother chose Sir Gawain Corbray, as deadly a knight as could be found in all the 7 kingdoms. Prince Aenys was so off in his sire's company that his own instruction in the chivalric arts came largely from the knights of Aegon's Kingsguard, and sometimes the king himself. The boy was diligent, his instructors all agreed, and did not want for courage, but he lacked his sire's size and strength, and never showed himself as any more than adequate as a fighter, even when the king pressed Blackfire into his hands, as he did from time to time. Aenys would not disgrace himself in battle, his tutors told one another, but no songs would ever be sung about his prowess. Such gifts as this prince possessed lay elsewhere. Aenys was a fine singer himself, as it happened, with a strong, sweet voice. He was courteous and charming, clever without being bookish. He made friends easily, and young girls seemed to dote on him, be they highborn or low. Aenys loved to ride as well. His father gave him coursers, palfreys and destriers, but his favourite mount was his dragon, Quicksilver. Prince Maegor rode as well, but showed no great love for horses, dogs, or any animal. When he was 8, a palfrey kicked him in the stables. Maegor stabbed the horse to death, and slashed half the face off the stable boy, who came running at the beast's screams. The Prince of Dragonstone had many companions through the years, but no true friends. He was a quarrelsome boy, quick to take offence, slow to forgive, fearsome in his wrath. His skill with weapons was unmatched, however. A squire at 8, he was unhorsing boys 4 and 5 years his elder in the lists by the time he was 12, and battering seasoned men-at-arms into submission in the castle yard. On his 13th name day, in 25 AC, his mother, Queen Vicinia, bestowed her own Valyrian steel blade, Dark Sister, upon him, half a year before his marriage. The tradition amongst the Targaryens had always been to marry kin to kin. Wedding brother to sister was thought to be ideal. Failing that, a girl might wed an uncle, a cousin, or a nephew. A boy, a cousin, aunt, or niece. This practice went back to old Valyria, where it was common amongst many of the ancient families, particularly those who bred and worked dragons. The blood of the dragon must remain pure, the wisdom went. Some of the sorcerer princes also took more than one wife when it pleased them, though this was less common than incestuous marriage. In Valyria before the Doom, wise men wrote, 1,000 gods were honored, but none were feared. So few dared to speak against these customs. This was not true in Westeros, where the power of the faith went unquestioned. The old gods were still worshipped in the north, but in the rest of the realm there was a single god with 7 faces, and his voice upon this earth was the High Septon of Old Town. And the doctrines of the faith, handed down through centuries from Andalos itself, condemned the Valyrian marriage customs as practiced by the Targaryens. Incest was denounced as vile sin, whether between father and daughter, mother and son, or brother and sister. And the fruits of such unions were considered abominations in the sight of gods and men. With hindsight, it can be seen that conflict between the faith and House Targaryen was inevitable. Indeed, many amongst the most devout expected the High Septon to speak out against Aegon and his sisters during the conquest, were most displeased when the father of the faithful instead counselled Lord Hightower against opposing the dragon, and even blessed and anointed him at his second coronation. Familiarity is the father of acceptance. The High Septon who had crowned Aegon the Conqueror remained the shepherd of the faithful until his death in 11 AC, by which time the realm had grown accustomed to the notion of a king with 2 queens, who were both wives and sisters. King Aegon always took care to honour the faith, confirming its traditional rights and privileges, exempting its wealth and property from taxation, and affirming that septons, scepters, and other servants of the Seven accused of wrongdoing could only be tried by the faith's own court. The accord between the faith and the Iron Throne continued all through the reign of Aegon I. From 11 AC to 37 AC, 6 High Septons wore the Crystal Crown. His Grace remained on good terms with each of them, calling it the Starry Sept each time he came to Old Town. Yet the question of incestuous marriage remained, simmering below the courtesies, like poison. Whilst the High Septons of King Aegon's reign never spoke out against the king's marriage to his sisters, neither did they declare it to be lawful. The humble members of the faith, village septons, holy sisters, begging brothers, poor fellows, still believed it sinful for brother to lie with sister, or for a man to take 2 wives. Aegon the Conqueror had fathered no daughters, however, So these matters did not come to a head at once. The sons of the dragon had no sisters to marry, so he too was forced to seek elsewhere for a bride. Prince Aenys was the first to marry. In 22 AC, he wed the Lady Alyssa, the maiden daughter of the Lord of the Tides, Aethan the Lady, King Aegon's Lord Admiral and Master of Ships. She was 15, the same age as the prince, and shared his silvery hair and purple eyes as well, for the Valerians were an ancient family descended from Valyrian stock. King Aegon's own mother had been a Valerian, so the marriage was reckoned one of cousin to cousin. It soon proved both happy and fruitful. The following year, Alyssa gave birth to a daughter. Aenys named her Rhaena, and the realm rejoiced, save perhaps for Queen Visenya. Prince Aenys was the heir to the Iron Throne, all agreed, but now an issue arose as to whether Prince Nico remained second in the line of succession, or should be considered to have fallen to third, behind the newborn princess. Queen Visenya proposed to settle the matter by betrothing Rhaena to Nico, who just turned 12. Aenys and Alyssa spoke out against the match, and when word reached Old Town's dowry set, the High Septon sent a raven, warning the king that such a marriage would not be looked upon with favour by the faith. He proposed a different bride for Nico, Cerise Hightower, maiden daughter to the Lord of Old Town, and the High Septon's own niece. Aegon, mindful of the advantages of closer ties with Old Town and its ruling house, saw wisdom in the choice, and agreed to the match. Thus it came to pass that in 25 AC, Negro Targaryen, Prince of Dragonstone, with Lady Cerise Hightower in the starry seat of Old Town, with the High Septon himself performing the match. Negor was 13, the bride 10 years his senior. But the lords who bore witness to the wedding all agreed that the prince made a lusty husband, and Negor himself boasted that he had consummated the marriage a dozen times that night. "I made a son for House Targaryen last night," he proclaimed as he broke fast. The son came the next year, but the boy, named Aegon after his grandsire, was born to Lady Alyssa and fathered by Prince Aenys. Lady Cerise did not quicken in the years that followed, though other children came, one after the other, to Alyssa. In 29 AC, she gave Aenys a second son, Viserys. In 34 AC, she gave birth to Jaehaerys, her fourth child and third son. In 36 AC, came another daughter, Alysanne. Each son pushed Prince